Welcome to Midlife Matters. I'm Marie, and each week I'm joined by my friends Julie and Mindy to talk about all the topics keeping women in the middle years up at night. Today we're talking about Christmas. Christmas looks so different in our houses from when we first started the podcast 7 years ago. Join us as we discuss all the changes and all the things that we continue to look forward to. Let's get started. Listeners, today we're talking about Christmas. We've had several Christmas episodes over the years, but I've found that Christmas looks very different in our house from when we first started this podcast 7 years ago. And each year, the changes just keep coming. Do you guys feel like Christmas changes every year?
I know, I definitely do. Anytime we talk about traditions, and I'm like, what traditions?
Well, plus you've moved in there, which causes new traditions.
Yes. And I know we've been at stages where our kids are like in and out and here and there, and you guys are adding people. And so, yeah, it's constantly new.
Yeah, lots of changes, but I still try to hold on to all the traditions.
Yeah.
I love it.
We thought today we could just kind of start out by talking about what is different about Christmas, because I think that kind of will play into our responses for how we're doing gift giving, how we're doing food, what we're doing for family gatherings. Like the fact that everything has changed then causes everything else to change. I feel like this is probably the most different Christmas has been for me, but it's been gradual. Like when we first started out, it was just incremental changes. Like I think one of my first changes was, I think on the podcast, I discussed getting rid of stockings. Now that was like a radical idea to me. Like I was not going to do stocking stuffers anymore. I wasn't even going to have stockings. I was done. Now that small act of rebellion seems like it just set off a chain of events. Not really though, because my kids have gotten older. And with age, their desires and traditions change. So it just looks so much different than it did 7 years ago. I just can't get over it. This year, for the first time, I'm not hosting anything Christmas Day. And this is like a radical departure from my life. There's no Christmas morning at my house. I'm not hosting Christmas afternoon or evening. And pretty much for, the last 20 some years, I've been hosting a Christmas morning, hosting an afternoon, and now it's like, I'm so excited. I feel like 5 years ago, I might've been sad about that, but at the stage that my kids are now, I am excited to be a guest in other people's homes.
Wow. I
What
cannot
happened to going to grandma's?
Well, yeah, it's funny because my daughter, she has ages 5, 3, and 1. And last year she said, and I don't know if this is forever, but last year she said, we are done running around on Christmas Day. Pepper is getting old enough to where they can really have enjoyable Christmas mornings and Christmas days at their house. When your kids are babies, they're just portable. They don't care whose house they're at. But as they get older, I think you sort of have that desire to start to make Christmas memories at your own house. And so she was like, I'm just going to tell all the grandparents, feel free to come to our house at any point, all at once, one at a time. It doesn't matter to me, but we're not going to be traveling on Christmas Day. And so that has been oh, okay, well, I'll gladly go to your house Christmas morning. We can make that work. So I'm excited about that.
That makes so much sense, though. And also kudos to you, Marie, for just being so chill, because she is your oldest of 5. And, you've got now another couple that has a baby. And so they're kind of at the beginning stages of that. And then you've got these young adults, too. So how does everybody feel about that?
Well, I kind of figured that my daughter-in-law and son would be going to her parents for Christmas morning because she's the only one of their children in town this year. So I kind of felt comfortable saying, we're going to do Christmas morning at Abigail's. We would love for you to come and join us at any point, but we are going to be there for Christmas morning. And then my younger ones are just kind of along for the ride. 7 years ago, I was still trying to create Christmas memories and traditions for my younger ones. Like I had one that had gotten married and one that was soon to be married, but like I still had three that were kind of like the little kids, and I still wanted to finish out Christmas memories and traditions with them. But now my youngest are 21. I don't feel the burden of having to continue childhood traditions anymore. So I feel like, hey, let's go embrace making some new traditions. And like I said, I don't think this is like and every year I won't have Christmas morning. I mean, obviously, I want to celebrate Christmas with Maddie and Davis again, but I think this year we're going to be at Abigail's and she's going to go to her mom's on Christmas morning. And I think everybody is fine with that.
We're a little different this year in that my daughter will be traveling here. So last year they weren't here. So that was a different Christmas. And then now they're here. So it changes everything when you have kids in the mix. Just the way you do things and how you buy gifts and just all the planning and preparation is a lot different this year because I want to make it, not more fun, but more geared towards them, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
But we still keep most of the traditions alive. I think my kids love coming home and just having things the way they were. I don't know. They're just kind of sentimental about stuff like that. So, this is in our new house with my new fireplace, it's like I actually hung stockings this year. We've never hung stockings like ever. We've always just laid them on the couch or had them on the staircase or something. So I thought I'm going to hang those up. So, and I had to buy additional ones to cover everybody. But so it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the look of stockings, and I stopped doing stockings a while ago too. Like nobody ever seemed to really care, and nobody even noticed when I didn't do it. I was like, "Why was I doing it?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that is still my kids' favorite part. That's what they still request.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I love filling them. To me, that's fun. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I forget if something's in there. Like I could find it the next Christmas. Nobody looks at stockings. So apparently this has been my home for years. I just didn't realize. But we are like in a young adult Christmas stage. So we don't have little kids and everyone comes in and they're just so happy to rest. Like they're tired, they've been working hard, kids in school, college, masters, they're just all worn out. And so our Christmas is really relaxing, but also very organized. So we really, Bryce has given us a good organization model to do for our family, and it worked over Thanksgiving and everybody loved it. But he created really just a timeline and sheet. We got everybody's, arrival and departure dates, how long they'd be at the house. We got input activities, food, things like that. And then it was all kind of laid out. So all the food had been kind of planned, different people, were helping at different times and things like that. And we're going to pretty much do that for the Christmas season as well. And so people are coming and going and there's different schedules, but there's things that the kids want to do that end up being some of those traditional pieces. Like they want to go ice skating. So that's something we pretty much only do when we're all here together. And so otherwise it's different foods that we make that we only make once a year and things like that. But everyone wants to kind of just have fun, lounge, rest, recover from their lives.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely sense that there's a difference whether there's little kids in the mix at Christmas, because I feel like if little kids are around, the Christmas naturally starts to be geared towards them and their needs and what would be fun and exciting for them. And until that point, it still always kind of revolves around the youngest person. So before there were any little babies, I was still revolving, well, what would the twins think was fun? Well, we still have to make it fun for the younger kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the younger ones kind of drive what we do at Christmas.
You did have two younger ones though, Marie. I think the balance of that is heavier than just one younger one, because I think my older kids have been making Nathan join them for a really long time.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
We're not worried about Nathan. He can do what we want to do.
That's true. But another thing that's a little bit different too is we used to try to gather. I have 3 siblings, all the siblings together on Christmas Day at some point. This year, I felt like that was even a little bit different. Now all the cousins are older. So this year we got rid of the Christmas gift exchange. We had pretty much just narrowed it down to one Dirty Santa exchange, but this year we even got rid of that. And we're still having all of our normal fun foods, but we said last night, let's have a euchre tournament. So it's like we want to do other things on Christmas now that people are adults, and it's so fun. Like there's the little kid portion of Christmas, but it's also fun to like get all those older cousins together and hear about everybody's college semester and, talk to them as adults. And like that's really fun too. So I kind of get a taste of both.
Yeah, like I look forward to being able to play games. But I mean, I've been looking up like fun card games for my grandson, but then I'm like, well, we need some for after they're in bed, like to do with the older, While I look forward to spending Christmas with my grandkids, I really look just as forward to being with my adult kids too. So I feel like I have to kind of plan for both,
I really feel that way too. That's why I'm so excited I get to do both this year. It's kind of like morning little kids, evening older kids. I think it's great that you're planning like things to do with the kids and then also things to do when they go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mindy, you've really had to change a lot because of course when we started this podcast, I think your youngest was like in elementary school and now you're like young adults all the way.
I know. It's kind of fun because the baby of the family is still Nathan, which he loves his position in the family. So he still relishes that he's the youngest and he will turn 18 just after Christmas and New Year's. And so this year we're going to try to be, celebrating his senior year, him going to college, and he just got into Georgia. So we're celebrating that. He's going to end up going to college where his brother is at. And so it really is all centered around like the senior year activities, him turning 18, and then celebrating where everybody else is in life. So it's very adult centered. In fact, if we kind of split off at all, we'll have guy activities, we'll have girl activities, we'll do family activities. Sometimes Bryce and I are like, y'all can have fun. We're going to bed early, so we let the siblings just have fun together too. But that's still where we're at right now.
So I imagine that our listeners have also experienced a lot of changes over the 7 years, if you've been listening to us 7 years, or just over the last 7 years of your life. And I think that we get quite a few emails on how do you incorporate traditions as your kids get older or spouses join the family, or how do you incorporate like changing holidays with the spouse's in-laws and like just kind of managing all of that. So we are just right in the midst of that with you, listener.
All doing the best we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Recently, we did a Christmas organization podcast. I would take wild guesses on who it actually helped, but I'm going to let you guys speak for yourselves.
Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
So who did the Christmas organization podcast help?
Well, it did help me. I wouldn't say that I did. We featured this woman in England who kind of gave tips for every week, I believe, leading up to Christmas. And I didn't just religiously stick to that, but I did take heed to the, plan things early so that you can enjoy and rest in December. I wouldn't say I'm resting yet, but I did wrap presents. And I remember the day only because it was the day before my birthday. So November 21st, I wrapped our presents.
Wow. That's
never in the
amazing.
history of Christmas has that ever happened. I mean, I'm usually wrapping the week of Christmas. So that feels really good because my kids came and put my trees up on my birthday because I had broken my tailbone on a hiking trip. So I couldn't do anything, which was kind of,
Yeah.
Hey guys, help me put the tree up. So they got the trees up, the decorations, and then on Thanksgiving we decorated. So
how fun.
That was up, presents bought. Now it's not to say that I haven't bought. I've still bought a few things and have a few things to wrap, but it's been really nice. Like even the stockings, there's all of that's done. Like it's all done.
I just can't even fathom it. I cannot fathom it.
Yeah. I mean, I've never done it before. I haven't. And I think it just scared me that Thanksgiving was so late. I didn't, I feel like I was going to even be more behind if I didn't do it. And just with the things that I want to plan for my family coming, I just knew I wanted that to be the focus towards the end, not still gift buying and running around and,
Sure.
because
No,
it
it makes
just
total
exhausts me
sense.
to have to go out into the world
Yeah, no, it
and
Yes, it's
totally
fight
busy.
the traffic and all that. I just don't want to do that. So
yeah.
Right.
I'm fine to be busy at home all day, like wrapping gifts and
Mhm.
listening to Christmas music, watching movies, cleaning my whatever. But I don't want to
Right.
be out and about.
Sure.
I'm done with that.
I'm
It's so
jealous.
true, Julie, especially with it getting darker now and we've had some cloudier days and things like that. I'm more than happy to get things done inside the house all day
Yeah,
long.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
I have this item that I ordered, and it says that they'll hold it till December 8th. And I've told myself every day this week, I'm going to go out and run some errands in that general area and pick up that item. And I have not, because it gets dark at 4:30 and it's cold and I don't feel like doing it. And I keep comforting myself that the email says they'll hold it till December 8th. So that's probably when I'll pick it up.
Oh,
So
got a couple days left there.
I know.
I was in a department store about a week ago, and they didn't have a size that I needed. It was for a gift for somebody. And she said, "Oh, I could order it for you." I said, "Oh, would that come to my house, or do I have to come back to the store?" And she goes, "Oh, no, it'll come to your house." She goes, "Oh, unless you want to go to Rivergate." And I said,
No way.
I might as well go to Europe if I'm going to Rivergate. Like,
That is never going to
no
happen.
way. Like, I will never drive to Rivergate.
No.
And one day I was leaving, I think it was my workout, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, pray for me. I'm going to Green Hills."
Oh,
True.
yeah.
You need prayer to go into that
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, I know. You need that or you need young college students that don't fear traffic. So it's one of the
Well,
two.
I didn't
Really.
fear it. It's just so annoying, but I went
Yeah.
middle of the day. I got in and out
Oh.
pretty easily. So,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
but
I know.
it only gets worse the longer you wait.
For
So,
sure.
Right.
yeah.
Well, you guys totally reminded me you're in the central time zone, so it gets dark for you guys at 4:30. So
Mhm.
here
Yes.
it's 5:30. And I remember that about living in Nashville in central time zone. I remember the kids getting off the bus and it was getting dark and I'm like, "What is going on?"
I mean,
Mhm.
I really love the coziness of it. Just don't expect
Yes.
me to accomplish anything after 4:30.
Oh, it's a very long evening. But I've had to give up some of the fanciful ideas about just rocking everybody's world with my amazing Christmas gift giving.
Mhm.
And over Thanksgiving, my kids are young adults. And so it's like there's things that they need, there's things they want, and
Mhm.
those are not always, compatible for the
Mhm.
budget.
Mhm.
And then Bryce and I are trying to decide, like, there's things that we would like to get them, and so we always do good when we work together, trying to balance their needs and wants and, things
Mhm.
like that. But literally over Thanksgiving, we were all on the couch. Of course, we were watching football, and it was Black Friday, and we were all on our phones shopping deals, and different kids in the same room were sending me Christmas lists, and I was buying things off of their
I
Christmas lists right
know.
there, and
Mhm.
I'm just like, I
Yeah.
hard to get this, idea of something amazing and also sticking with the budget. And it's just,
Right.
I don't know, still
Yeah.
trying to calm myself down with what they need to have, I guess, for Christmas.
Well, as you get older, needs become amazing, like having your needs
It's
met is
true.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that we actually changed up our gift giving this year to, and this only applies to me gifting to them. This is not how
Uh-huh.
they're doing each other, but I'm doing a want, a need, a wear, and a read. And that was so freeing. Like when I was
Mm.
out shopping, it was like, no, I already have the wear, I already have the read. I'm not, I don't need to look at
Mhm.
books anymore. I don't need to look at
Oh,
clothes.
Mhm.
okay.
And I did have them send me lists because I didn't really know the need part, like
Mhm.
whatever. And it just really gave some good guidelines for shopping and made it so much easier to shop. And because I knew what slots to fill, and they do send me lists, but I always like to try to at least have one surprise, something that they don't know is
Mhm.
coming.
Right.
Right.
For gift giving, the older my kids get, the more I try to move towards picking something that I think they'll like. So I try to be out on the lookout for things that I think they'll go wow over because I thought of them. So I really have enjoyed that. Now, I will say it is very difficult for boys. I have yet to find a gift on my own for a boy that I thought they would say wow over. But it's super, super easy for my daughter-in-law, and my other two daughters. So
there you go.
So I don't want Davis and Isaac to be offended if I haven't gotten them things that I just happen to think of on my own. But like, I feel like that's fun because, and some of it doesn't even have to be expensive. Like, I picked up several items at our neighborhood garage sales this year that I have wrapped, and I am so excited for them to open them because when I saw them, I thought, they'll love that. Like, I think it's not even something that I could go out and buy in the store. Like, it's a unique item that I saw and I thought, I know they'll love it. And those kind of gifts get me excited about gift giving. I'm not excited about ordering a link. I am. I mean, I will do it, but I like to have at least a few that are kind of unexpected.
Yeah, that's why I said I like at least one surprise because it's just as much for me as them. Like, it's just more fun to see if they're going to like it and put a lot of thought into it. And, you know, and I remember too, like when the kids were younger, I helped them with each other. Like, now, you know that Andrew would like this, Molly would like this, David would like this. And now I feel like I don't have to do that anymore. They are such good gift givers, my kids. Like, they really put a lot of thought into it and give each other, like, how did you think of that? Like, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
They really kind of investigate and try to find out like what they're interested in and what they would like, that's fun to watch too.
It is. Yeah. I think that's the key, Julie. I think that's what keeps gift giving fun is if both sides are thoughtful. I mean, sure, you're going to give some ideas and you may get that exact idea, but if there can also be some things that they just know about you, saw it and thought, oh, so-and-so would love that. That makes unwrapping gifts on Christmas morning fun.
Yeah.
I know. I love the creativity of my kids. I think that's my favorite part too, Julie, is just watching the kids and what they would think to get one another. There was a couple of years ago, this gift will forever go down as just the quintessential fun thing that happened. And I would have never, ever, ever done this. But my son, Jacob, got a piñata, of all things, a piñata for his brother.
Oh.
And I mean, literally, who thinks to get a piñata?
That sounds fun.
A tree, and he sent him outside. We all ended up outside. We're wearing robes for everything. It's hooked to a tree just off our driveway. It was the funniest and most fun time that we had watching him beat that piñata to death. And it was a llama. So literally he kept the head of the llama.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, and so now that's one of the traditions is a Christmas piñata. I mean, it came out of that, like those kid gifts. So it's super fun.
That's fun.
Well, do you guys draw names in your family? Do you buy for everybody? How does it work?
Well, in the past, I mean, I buy for everybody. And then the kids, I mean, they've said they want to buy for me. So the only ones that draw names are the siblings. But this year they just said, let's not draw names. Let's just gift for everybody. You know, like they chose to do that. So we just kind of do it differently every year. Yeah.
So my kids draw names, and then, I mean, they are very different in the type of earner they are right now and the seasons of life that they range from. So we actually had this conversation, but we listened to them come up with a budget, their sibling budget that they all agreed to. So that happened over Thanksgiving. And then Bryce actually tells them they all have to get something for me too, which I just respect. And he's like, you know, you need to think about your mom. So I think that's neat, Julie. You just pretty much said that, like they all get something for you. But no, it really is sweet. So the kids draw names, but then Bryce and I just buy for everybody.
Yeah.
That's another thing that looks different about our Christmas than it did in Christmases past, even on the podcast. A couple of years ago, my kids said, let's stop doing sibling gifts. So they had kept doing it for a while. Two of the older ones had gotten married. They were still doing it. And then one year it was like, oh, I want to take back my item, or, oh, can I have the gift receipt for that? Or like, it just seemed like or there were like duplicates. Like they were just like, you know what? I don't think we want to do sibling gifts anymore, which is totally fine with me because that's up to them. So
Yeah.
anyways, but yeah, I mean, gift giving naturally, I think, changes over time.
The point it becomes stressful, things really do need to change.
Mhm.
So, I know we're all talking about this, but we're really just enjoying all the different people and the different ways we get together. And
Mhm.
so gift giving can be a part of that, but it's really about the people.
Right.
One of the things we're gonna do this year, that my at Thanksgiving, we were just talking about Christmases and traditions, and both my boys mentioned how much they loved our scavenger hunts for gifts, and I kinda totally forgotten about that. And,
Mm,
the last time Ezra was here for Christmas, he was 4. Well, 6 is just a huge leap for like, they're
Mhm.
just capable of so much more and get so much more, so we've decided we're gonna plan a scavenger hunt for his gifts because
Oh,
they just
that's
talk about
fun.
that being the most fun part of Christmas. Like, it isn't even about the gift so much as
Yeah.
the clues and the puzzles and finding the gift, and so I know he'll like that.
mhm.
So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about other aspects that are included in your family gatherings. Julie, you said you're looking for games. Do you have traditional games you like to
Oh,
play, things that
no,
you
but
recommend?
I did wanna mention a couple of games. After Thanksgiving, a friend said that she had played this with her family, and I was interested to see if you guys had ever heard of it because it's not new. When I looked it up, I saw it go back to, like, 2021. It's called Contact.
Mm-mm.
Have your kids ever
I
played
have
it?
I've not
I
heard of
have
it.
heard of that.
Okay, she just said it was the most fun game, and what I love about it, it's one of those games that you don't need any physical components. They said you could play it on a road trip, you could play it on
Mhm.
a hike, you could play it just sitting on the couch, and it's kind of a low-key game. I mean, you could even play it in a restaurant,
Mhm.
and it's a word guessing game, and you have to have at least 3 players, but it can go they said it could go to 20 something, but it would just get a little chaotic with too many
Mhm.
players. But basically, there's a word master who comes up with kind of a secret word, and then everybody else is a guesser. But it's very complicated to explain. Like I've had to watch the rules several times, but the way they come up with a plan to try to get that requires the word master to give up more letters of his words as clues.
Mm.
And so
Oh,
you're kind of fighting over
It's
like not
kinda like
having
a
to give up more
hangman
letters.
situation a little bit.
Yeah, but the way that you kinda beat the word master is really fun. It's
Mm.
really complicated, but it looks so much fun.
Mhm.
And then on Thanksgiving, we did play a game called GeoGuessr. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, my son, set it up for us, and he's gonna try to perfect it so that like, we played it cast it to the television, so
Mm.
it's a Google Map game. So,
Mhm.
you get shown this picture of somewhere in the world, and then everybody has to pin on the map where they think it is.
Mm.
But
ooh.
it could be a dirt road, like,
Mm.
Oh my
it's
Mhm.
not like, the Eiffel Tower or anything.
Mhm. Mhm.
right.
So, but you're looking at clues like, there were palm trees and interesting buildings, and then David goes, "But look, all the cars are like Chevrolets and Fords." So, like, we knew it wasn't in Europe or like,
Mm.
you can do a 360 view and get, like, street signs
Mhm.
Mhm.
and, things to give you clues, and it sounds kinda weird, but it was actually really fun. Everybody liked it.
Oh, good.
So, we're gonna try to perfect that, and, so those are more games that would be adults, but,
Mhm.
I thought since the kids are gonna be here, we're gonna do some, like, minute to win it type games.
Mhm.
Like, did you see the one
Fun.
where you laid the tea lights out and said, "Happy Thanksgiving" or "Merry
Yeah.
Christmas" to blow them out? I had a friend that did it and said it was a big hit with her family. Or, like, blindfolding you and transferring mini marshmallows from the bowl to another bowl or, just things like that I think
Mhm.
Mhm.
the kids
Mhm.
the kids will have fun with because I don't think we would I know a lot of families do that with just adults. I don't think we would ever do that,
Mhm. Yeah.
like those
Right.
kinda games. And then one more thing I wanted to mention is I've started following this lady on Instagram, and it's her name is Tabletop Family, and she just shows you how to play fun card games.
Oh, that's interesting.
And, like, in her stories, she'll demonstrate it because I really have to see things. Like, reading directions is I'm kinda challenged at that, but Um, she mentioned a game called Trash, Spite, and Malice, which my grandmother used to play. I remembered her playing that all the time, and she even comes up with, like, fun games you can just play on a piece of paper, like, while you're waiting on your food at at a restaurant.
Oh.
So your kids aren't on screens and stuff like that. So I've been looking through her stuff to find some fun games because Molly says that Ezra loves card games. So,
yeah, that's a great resource. Let's talk a little bit about food because I know food is a big part of Christmas. And I've seen some of our foods change, but that has been more of a constant than other things. So, what do you guys have in the way of like food traditions?
Yeah, I've tried changing this up and they're like, "Why would you mess with a good thing? This is what we want." So, we just keep doing it. Christmas Eve, we just typically have like ham and biscuits. I make cheese grits and I make my curried fruit and which is a kind of a unique recipe, but it's really good. It's a hot fruit dish like with brown sugar and butter and curry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like it's not all finger food, but it's just real casual. Like we don't sit down on Christmas Eve. It's just wherever you want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christmas Day is usually a beef tenderloin, rolls, veggies, some kind of dessert. And we do, open presents in the morning. We don't really eat lunch. And then we have like a 3:00 Christmas dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the same. That's what we're doing this year. But when you have family that comes to stay with you, you also have to think about all the other meals,
Mm-hmm.
just the nightly meals before and after Christmas. So that's why I wanted to get gifts wrapped and put away just because I want to focus on getting some meals ready. And I've been doing a little experimenting, like, does this freeze well? So we had some soups last week that I pulled out of the freezer. Like, yeah, they taste fine, because sometimes I don't like to eat stuff out of the freezer. It just doesn't taste the same. But that's my plan is to get a few meals in the fridge so that the time I want to spend with my family is not just in the kitchen.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And they'll be helpful and all, but still, it's just chaotic if you have to come up with a new meal every night.
Yeah.
Right. This is how we end up with our organized list of daily activities and food because we do have people staying with us. We'll have each of the kids here and my parents will be here. And so the traditional food I'd say for us on Christmas is I love to make French toast and we have a big kind of brunch. People get to sleep in right now. We'll have breakfast probably around 9, which is kind of late for some of us and early for others. And so we meet in the middle at 9 and we have a big breakfast together. And then we all clean up and move to the living room to open gifts. And then later we'll have ham and we'll have different side dishes. But since people are here for pretty much at least a week, the boys actually love to get involved with grilling. We have an outdoor kitchen. And that's just part of the activity. So Bryce is typically teaching some of our sons like how to make chicken wings, how to, cook this or smoke that or whatever. Or they'll take a chance on a different kind of meat because there's 3 different types of grills outside. And so that's just a lot of fun. So we just have fun with the rest of the week. But there's a lot of food going on all the time.
Mm-hmm. One tradition we did start a few years ago that I absolutely love is, and we're doing that again this year, is my son and daughter-in-law come on Christmas Eve, and my son loves to cook, and so he will make us a fancy meal. So he's made like fancy grilled cheeses and soups before. Then the past few years, he's been making steak, which I never make steak because I'm terrible at cooking meat, but he puts them in the sous vide or he'll marinate them or, he always does them in a really nice way and makes beautiful sides with aiolis and things that I never make for myself. And so we just love that because, I also invite my parents and Steve's parents. And that's kind of what we moved into once the kids got too old to open anything on Christmas Eve. Then we just decided to have really nice meals, play games, just enjoy each other. And that's kind of a really nice place to get to. So I really love that tradition. And I love that also he's doing the cooking. So it's really a super great treat for me. So we all really enjoy that. So yeah, like different food traditions have changed over the years, but I feel like they're always replaced with something that I like just as well or better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So change can be new and exciting and add fresh excitement to your Christmas too. Let's move into some gift ideas that might be practical for listeners this year. Like if you struggle like Mindy and I to fill stockings, Julie, you already have yours done. What do you recommend? And King children, turn this off now.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you're listening, don't listen to this next minute or two. And these are things that they've gotten in the past, so they're not all,
Yeah.
some of it they might get and some of it was something from the past. But I always like to start at Trader Joe's because I don't like filling stockings with just junk because, it's like they're going to dump it out and it's like silly toys or puzzles or whatever. Like we used to do that. And then I would one year I noticed like David still had all his stocking stuff in his closet from the year before, because it was just kind of stuff to fill the stocking.
Sure.
And with boys, it is hard.
It
Girls,
is.
you could fill it multiple times over with stuff they would actually use.
Right.
But not so much with boys. So Trader Joe's is a great place to start because you can get consumable things, like I know my son-in-law likes those dried banana chips.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big filler. Chocolates. I bought several of the room sprays. Like my son never goes to Trader Joe's. He's like, when you're there, can you pick up some of those room sprays? I think they're lemon and they're like little bottles. He'll use them like for his cat litter box, like in the area, like just to keep them in the bathroom. They're great to just sit on the back of the toilet. And then their mini hand sanitizers are really nice. They're lavender, like purse size, I always get my kids hot sauces, and that's usually some of their favorite gifts. They'll try, like, where'd you get that hot sauce? I'll get them at like Christmas markets or things like that. People that have made their own hot sauces. One thing I'm going to do this year for the girls is a nice olive oil because they both cook a lot, and that's kind of an expensive thing. Or you could just get a little bottle, but they all use it. Trader Joe's has candles in tins. They have little lip balms. One thing I got my son was a cat advent calendar.
Oh, cute.
And it's so funny because when I was checking out at Trader Joe's, she goes, now this is for a cat, right? And I said, yeah. And she goes, well, you wouldn't believe how many people bring them back and say they taste terrible.
Oh, that's too funny.
They thought they were just like a cat-themed advent calendar, but they're little salmon treats for your cats.
Oh, my.
These are things that I've gotten in the past. The Apple AirTags are great because you can usually buy a multi-pack of them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And I don't know how my daughter feels about this at all, but I do see people using them on their kids a lot. Like on a vacation, they'll have it in their backpack or in their shoe or in a pocket. But I just think they're great. I keep them in a backpack and a purse and with my keys and stuff like that. Headlamps make a great gift. Bath bombs, like the fizzy bath salts. A silk pillowcase because that's really small. Folded up. Tea bags. Playing cards. This year I actually found playing cards that were by a watercolor artist, and she has watercolor paintings of birds on the cards.
Oh, perfect.
So beautiful.
I have somebody in my family that's a bird lover. Facial mask, those little things you like lay on your face. You open up the little packet. My girls like those. For the boys, beard oil if they have a beard. Gummies, gum. I have a kind of a photographer in the family, so film is really a nice gift. And I think I mentioned the Humby shampoo bars. Everybody's getting that this year. I think they were 2 for 1, so stocked up on those. So I feel like those are all really good.
Yeah, those are all really good gifts.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing that was food that I just found this week at Trader Joe's. It's kind of unique, but it's a vanilla bean. Just one vanilla bean, but those are really they're kind of expensive, but you can make vanilla sugar or use that to make, vanilla flavoring on things. So it's just in this nice little package. And I think
interesting.
the expiration date was like 2027, so
that's
cool.
My daughter likes to cook, so yeah.
That's a great list, Julie.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'd like to get any of those things.
Awesome. Do you have any general gift ideas? I don't have specific gift ideas, but I would say like estate sales, antique shops, garage sales. You can get some really unique things, especially for girls, that they really will use in their apartments or their homes. And it's kind of a unique thing. Like they couldn't have thought to ask for it because it wasn't necessarily online,
Yeah, like dishes, like pretty plates if they would hang that on the wall, or like I like to buy old pictures sometimes just for the frame. I mean that like the frame might cost $100 if you had to go buy that new and it's some old, old frame.
Yeah.
I like to also buy experiences or subscriptions. Like one year I did a subscription to a car wash in town because my son liked to get his car washed every week,
Right.
Again, children, don't listen to this next part, but you can buy Costco memberships for people and they even have them boxed up. So, it's the perfect little box to gift. And then it's like, I guess it's like a gift card really that they go and then purchase the membership and get their ID and all. But I try to get things like that. It's like a nice treat, but it really is useful. It's not going to go to waste.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't like the thought of like, I'm never going to buy clothes for my kids and just hope they like it. You know what I mean?
I know.
No, that I get a link for. Like
Right.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm not going to go and think, oh, he would probably like this because no, he will probably not.
Right.
And so they usually don't ever take anything back because usually it's, I haven't bought things that are risky in that way.
Right. No, that's a good point, Julie. That's awesome. Another thing that we had on our list was Advent. I have never been good. I've periodically done an Advent calendar. I've periodically tried to do the Advent candles, but I've never made it like a practice that I do every year. But Julie, I know that you love to do Advent. What do you recommend in that area?
Well, sometimes I repeat the same thing for 2 or 3 years in a row, and then I'll look for something different. And like this year, I didn't get the candles out. It's not always about that, but I do try to go through some kind of observance of Advent. I don't know. It's just been really helpful this year. I, struggled with hope the past couple years, but not hopelessness, but just, like grief has caused me to look for hope that's like stronger than my grief. And kind of looking at the defense of God's goodness, even in a broken world, like even when my life isn't what I thought it would be or want it to be. I'm kind of shoring up my beliefs that God is good even when my life doesn't feel good. And I just read somewhere this week and I thought this was so profound. It said, you learn this in fragments, usually through wounds you never wanted. And I thought that is so true. Like it's not something you just learn all at once. It just kind of sinks into your life over time. And Advent just reminds me of that. Like light overcomes the darkness. Jesus is the light of the world. He came in a dark night, and Jesus goodness swallows up brokenness. Joy overcomes sorrow. And it's not to say that the pain's not real, the sadness isn't there aren't tears, but I know they don't win in the end. They don't get the last word. And I was reading something about this new author that I've just kind of discovered, and he had written an article because the article was called Death at Christmas. And I just thought this is right where I am. He had suffered the loss of a family member like on December 22nd, and he was so angry. Like, why at Christmas? And you, Marie, we talked about this. Like when John was dying, like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen right at my birthday and right before Christmas. Like, why? And it was really more for my kids that I worried about that. Like, is there ever going to be a Christmas that's not in the shadow of John's passing? Like, is this going to taint Christmas forever? And his article was just saying, like the story isn't that John died at Christmas. It's that Christmas is about like God's redemption of death. Like, it's just a good reminder. Like, that's why we have Christmas, is because God didn't leave us to our own fate, to die and be separate from him. And I don't know, that's just been it's kind of made me think more about like why those maybe did happen so close. That it's, God's response to death is why we have Christmas. And Advent, I love it connects us to the people of long ago who were waiting for Jesus to come the first time, and now we're in the group of people that's waiting for him to come again. It's easy to kind of think about the manger in Bethlehem, and I think a lot of people are willing to think about that, but you can't forget why he came. Like the cross is the most important thing, and so I'm not as angry about John's death at Christmas, because I can take comfort in the fact of the message of Advent that, Jesus gives us victory over death, and he puts the dark shadow of death to flight. Like it's not, there's still tears, but they're temporary. And we'll eventually be reunited with those people that we love that are in Christ, and if we're in Christ, and we'll never be separated again, and there will be no more tears ever. So, hallelujah.
Yeah.
So that's just, it's important for me because it's easy to get caught. I've kind of lost the whole commercial part of Christmas. Like I'm past that part, but it's still, I don't know. I still want to sit with the deeper meaning, and looking for the beauty in the world, even though it's broken, and just how those. I mean, I know I keep going back to that, but how they sit side by side.
What they do.
Living in the now and the not yet. I've heard people say it that way. Like, yes, Jesus, we have that victory in him, and he's defeated death, but we're not there yet. Like we're still waiting on his return and the full redemption, but but we have the assurance that he is faithful to keep his promise.
Amen.
Thanks for sharing that, Julie. That's a good reminder. And I think it's important for listeners to hear how you are coming to terms with grief over the past 2 Christmases, really. Well, I mean, it's been even more than that, but just since John died, we've had each Christmas is a little bit different. When we talk about different Christmases, you've had the most radical change over the past 7 years. So thanks for sharing that. All right, listeners, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear about your Christmas traditions, what has changed over the years, what you still incorporate, new things that you love incorporating. Come and find us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast, or you can email us at midlifematterspodcast@gmail.com. And we look forward to talking with you next week.
Sounds great.
Bye. We're so happy you joined us today. You can find the show notes for this episode at midlifematterspodcast.com. Also, please tell a friend about the show and help them hit the free subscribe button on their favorite podcast app. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast. That's where we post pictures and stories about all the things we talk about in each episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.